Good morning. Ow. Good morning. Good
morning. You know what I feel like we need? You know, Sports Center has like that.
Yeah.
I feel like we need like a royalty-free version of it. Boop, boop.
Yeah, we need something like that because it is time for Taps and Takes every single Friday morning, 8 a.m. Me, myself, Drew Hyatt, and Elliott Jiggity Jams, and soon to be, if all goes well with his new manfluencing
Manfluencer.
Fast Eddie Rouse should be coming back, but he says next week is for sure the week.
Much like the green screen. Next week, and it's going to happen.
The green screen
is coming.
That's definitely going to be happening.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of things coming. Fast Eddie.
And
the green screen.
Some would say he's coming fast, Elliott.
Maybe a little slow. We've been waiting for him for a while. He's been edging us.
He's not a certified gooner.
No, he's not.
Welcome to Taps and Takes. We talk about the nerd news. We talk about the sports news live from Groggs Traditional Irish Pub at the northeast corner of Willow and Knees.
Let's get some B-roll.
Yeah.
Orc, add some B-roll.
Add some B-roll. Just do it, Orc.
For no extra pay. Add some B-roll.
Now, we come and we take over Groggs. Thank you very much to them. So they support us. And remember, coldest bar in Fresno. It's technically a restaurant. It's a pub.
It's a pub.
So you can come in here, but they pride themselves on when it gets hot, it gets colder up in Groggs. Okay?
I gotta tell you.
Yeah.
I don't know what they poured me. This is bloody delightful.
Is it no?
Yeah, I think it's an Irish beer. Is it an Irish beer? What's it called? Smithwick's. Smithwick's. I'm sure I got that right. First try. Nailed it.
You liking it?
I do. I'm a fan. It's not like as thick as a Guinness, but it's pretty damn smooth.
Now, I do want to remind you that we do pre-produce this show.
Yes.
Just like the normal episode of the Do Over podcast. The Do Over podcast last episode is up now. We had Colleen come in. She filled in for Jess, and it was a nice chunky episode. So go and check that out now.
It was a nice thick old episode.
Also, we should be live on Twitch. And if you're watching this minute of release, we will be live on Twitch in about an hour and a half. And it's a big story from Anthony Sierra's coming in.
Yeah.
we got
some stuff we gotta cover. We got some stuff we gotta cover.
So definitely go and check out the twitch.tv/ the Do Over podcast.
It's too much.
There's a lot of stuff.
It's too much.
All over the internet.
Too much.
Also, I would like to remind you that we produce this on Tuesday.
Yes. So everything you're hearing is about 4 days late.
Well, yeah, and 3. But keep in mind, we're going to be speculating about big things that's going to be happening tomorrow. And also today is April Fool's Day. So to be fair, if anything happens as far as
I didn't even realize it was April Fool's today.
Yeah. You can't really believe anything that you see on the internet on April Fool's Day. So you're just going to have to give us some grace here.
Yeah.
Just going to have to give us some grace.
Like everything we do. Just give us some grace.
Just give us a little bit of grace.
Yeah. Will and grace.
Yes. Will and grace it. Now, Elliott.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of nerd news that we got to get to.
We do.
There's
a lot of everything we got to get to.
Yeah, lots.
You want to just go boom, bang, boom, bang, boom?
Yeah. Start off with your Spider-Man.
All right, because I would say it's probably the biggest news of this week.
Yeah.
Sony's Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse has officially gotten a new release date, June 7th of 2027. Now, that is crazy far.
Yes.
They also released some initial clips from their upcoming film at their CinemaCon presentation. People loved it. Some of the still shots look incredible.
Yeah.
They said they're going to be pushing animation the farthest animation's ever been pushed. So that's exciting.
It is. And I have no doubt. That they are.
And they're saying it's going to be the biggest finale you could imagine, which I'm all stoked for. Just remind me in about a year and a half so I can get excited again.
You know, and I think that this brings up a bigger conversation, a couple of them actually, which is Sony and their handling of Spider-Man in general, especially with their interconnected Spider-Verse stuff.
Spider-Villain verse.
Yeah, the Spider-Verse movies, those cartoons are probably, in my opinion, the best Spider-Man anything to drop.
Yeah, I would
ever.
say those two movies and then Spider-Man 2 are the 3 best Spider-Man properties ever.
I would be close to agree. I did like the Marvel movies that they did.
Oh, I'm not saying they're bad. I would just say Spider-Man 2 to this day still holds up very well.
But the Spider-Verse movies, in my opinion, are the pinnacle of handling of a Spider-Man anything. And the fact that Sony, I will give them credit. They took a shot on that. Like to put that much money in development time with the people that they did to produce the first Spider-Verse movie. And then it comes out and just blows everyone's fucking mind.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, my God. Right.
Well, and to do it with Miles.
Yeah. To do it with Miles. Which was also
a huge risk.
A huge risk because it's not Spider-Man, you know, the original OG Peter Parker. But then on top of that, follow it up with one of the best sequels.
Arguably one of the best sequels of all time.
Yeah. And the problem is that it made a good amount of money, but it's still one of those, like, there's still people out there to this day. Oh, it's a cartoon.
I am so sick of, it's such a Neanderthal brain thinking.
Yeah.
A great story is a great story.
Yeah. Like, especially when it's executed as well as it is.
Exactly. Like, I get it. I've been talking Invincible a lot, you know, and people, it's the exact opposite of what is happening with Spider-Verse, because Spider-Verse is taking arguably too long. While as Invincible is busting these out once a year, which, you know, I love. But the story is so good. I think it's beyond, like, I think it's okay to look past some of the flaws of animation.
How about this? This is the second part of this conversation. Well, and a speculation. One, I firmly believe Sony should just sell back the Spider-Man rights to Marvel, and then in that contract, get like a 10% profit vig on everything they do. So then whenever Spider-Man or any of their properties are used, they give a small chunk over to Sony. Sony doesn't have to spend money, and we can get back to the proper handling of Spider-Man in general. That's one. Two, you see the same problem. Like, they were talking about how Spider-Verse was just in, like, the third one was just in this production hell, which is weird to me because it's like, you have a proven product. These guys have proved that they're at the peak of their game on this.
Yeah. I mean, it should have won an Oscar.
It should have.
It got totally robbed.
I think the first one did, right? Didn't the first one win an Oscar?
I do not know, but I know the second one absolutely should have. I think Boy and the Heron won, which
Miyazaki.
As an anime fan and Miyazaki fan, I'm happy that got recognized as well. But I mean, let's be honest. Spider-Verse was easily the winner of that year.
Oh yeah, I think it did win an Oscar. Won Best Animated Feature at the 91st Academy Awards. So you're talking about. So listen to this. 2011. 2011. Okay, so this was 13 years ago.
No, 14.
14. Well,
14.
Yeah, but it was So the award happened in 2012.
Right. Okay.
So you have the first movie win a fucking Academy Award. You have the second movie make you tons of money and
over $700 million
and critical acclaim, and you can't manage to get the third one out. Like,
it's crazy.
Like, it's crazy to me. And also, the same struggle happens with, like, video game fans and movie fans. It's like, it's hard to get pumped on things that are so far away. It's like, I don't even know if I'm going to be alive in fucking 3 years.
Yeah, it's like Disney announcing last week that, like, Coco 2, which no one asked for because Coco is a perfect beginning, middle, and end of a story. And they're like, Coco 2 in 2029. Man, that's 4 or 5 years from now. I don't care.
I don't care about that
to begin with.
I don't even know what I'm going to be doing. Will this even be America? Or will we be like a different country, Elliot? Who knows?
That's a different conversation.
Yeah,
that's not a taps and take conversation.
Well, you know what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that something's so far away. It's like, it's really hard to get pumped on, and they tend to do this. I think, why don't you announce anything that you're doing that's going to be cool 6 months before it comes out? You know what I mean?
Well, anything within the year.
Yeah.
2025, and I'll even say halfway through 2026. If you're like June of 2026, okay.
Now I'm excited.
Yeah, okay. I can look forward to that.
I can ride that hype train for a long time, but not that long.
But like November 2026, No.
Yeah.
That's about 2 years now. Yeah, and I can't do that. I'm not with it. I'm not with it. All right. Take it away.
Okay, so I just wanted to bring this up because it's also another funny conversation. We can use that as a prompt to ask the people, right? The people, Elliott.
The people. We are people.
Okay, modern fighting games. Now, I grew up, you were a Smash dude.
I was a Smash dude, yeah.
But go ahead.
I loved Tekken, but I only used to play it in arcades because I didn't have a PlayStation. So I mean, Tekken was like a mistress,
and it's funny because you came in on the back end of like the arcade scene. There's many years of my adolescent youth that were spent in arcades, right? Like the whole arcade culture. The quarter waiting for who play winner.
Yeah, the pizza parlors with Marvel vs. Capcom 2, where like, you didn't know what you were doing, so you just button mashed. Yeah, that was me. I was that kid.
Well, we took it pretty seriously. Like we would play all the time, and we were playing in Camelot Park, then Boomers or whatever. So it's funny that I have that experience, and like that experience, like looking back on it, I'm so lucky to have been through it because you play really good people. And I remember, I think it was like a famous, I don't know if they're famous, but it was like a professional fighting game player was there. I don't know who it was. I think it was Filipino champ, but I could be wrong. And he was just beating everyone at Marvel too. Like it was ridiculous. And I got super close, but then he got me. It was just down the line. And like playing people like that live on an arcade, when you could just keep on playing on a court. Oh my God. Like the feeling of everyone just lining up to take this guy on.
To get a crack at him.
To get a crack at him. Like, I love that. Fighting games in general they all have their own mechanics, their own different mechanics. But a lot of the things with fighting games that is pretty constant are motion controls, right? Not so much in Tekken, but like in 2D fighting games, you have down, forward, button for a Hadouken, you have the Z motion for the DP, the Dragon Punch motion. Like you have these motions that you have to do quickly in order to fight. Well, a lot of people that did not grow up in the fighting game scene, that's kind of difficult for them to learn. And you have to dedicate time to learning it to be proficient at fighting games. It's not like a shooter where you could just be like, okay, I'm in and go. There's some work. Well, the barrier of entry for a lot of people is tough for them, right? Yeah. And because of that, fighting games are not as big. We are definitely in a fighting game renaissance right now.
Oh, for sure.
But they're not as big because of that barrier to entry. So a lot of these companies have been trying to figure out how can we simplify.
Yeah, how can we get newer players in,
but then make it mechanically dense enough to bring depth to it. And it's very, very difficult, right? And City of the Wolves, the brand new Fatal Fury game that's coming out, and 2XKO, which is the Riot fighting game, free to play, that's going to be coming out this year. They're getting a lot of shit right now. Like everyone's throwing a fit. Like the argument goes two sides. It's like, don't cater to the casuals because they're not going to play the game that much anyways, or even play competitively.
Right.
You should be catering to us because we're the ones that actually play this game.
I get that.
Which I get. I would counter with, however, this is a business that needs to make money because 2,000 people can't keep a single game going unless you're Marvel 3 and you have like just the sickest mod community in the world.
Well,
right.
And also, how else do you get newer players? Sometimes you got to ease people into something and then they're like, whoa, I kind of want to get really good at this. And then they take off the training wheels.
Yeah.
And then they get good at it. It's the one balance I think a lot of video games struggle with. It's the how do we get enough people to come in while also solidifying a solid fan base for generations?
And I think Street Fighter 6 did it the best out of all of them. Like, because 2XKO, which again is a tag fighting game made by Riot that's going to be coming out with League of Legends characters. It looks great. Looks absolutely fun as hell. I can't wait to play it myself. But there is a shit ton of mechanics and they eliminated the motion controls aspect of it.
Yeah.
It's just a button and a direction. Much like a Smash Brothers, right? Yeah. Like it's a mix, but it's so mechanically dense that it's like there's so much that you need to learn. I still think the barrier of entry will still be there. Whereas Street Fighter 6 is like, okay, we have modern controls, which is a simplified control scheme, right? It says a direction and a button.
Yeah.
But you get a 10% damage nerf, and there's some moves that are not available, right?
Okay.
So it allows people to get comfortable with the idea.
Learn the fundamentals.
Yes.
Break out when you've built up enough rapport. I get it.
Or enough confidence that you're like, okay, I want to actually learn classic controls. And I think that's a fair trade-off.
I think that's totally fair.
I think that a lot of other games should emulate that. Like instead of having a one button combo string, like just a single button goes for it. But the thing is, this is all to say, fighting games are fucking cool.
They are.
And everyone should be trying to get into fighting games and put some fucking effort into it. Don't just pick it up and be like, oh, I suck, and put it down. Everyone sucks at fighting games, dude.
Well, everybody sucks at video game now. Yeah. Kids are so good at video games. Like I played Rivals. I played Marvel Rivals because it's free.
Yeah,
and I was
free.
like,
you
dude,
just download it.
Free, and I heard it was fun, so I played it. I was Wolverine the first time, and first round I went like 13-2. I was like,
oh, it's pretty good.
But I knew, I was like, this is just gonna give me false confidence.
Yeah.
Because then they start putting you in like ranked matches.
Yeah.
And because you did so well, they put me with like good, like actual gamers.
Right.
Demolished.
Just fucking crushed.
Just destroyed. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, there it is. Yep.
Yeah. And like
people are too good.
The scene is so big on Marvel Rivals. It is kind of crazy.
Still.
Like, yeah. Yeah, like still.
And it's fun.
Oh,
like it's fun.
It's printing money too. Like it's super successful. Mm-hmm. And I love the designs of how they did the designs.
Yeah, the characters all look so good. And then they just added Venom twerking.
Yeah, did they? Yeah. They also added the orange Venom from Marvel 1. Yep. Dude, fucking orange Venom. I was like, man, this throwback. See, it's shit like that.
That's how you build up a fan base.
Yes.
That's how you keep a fan base.
So
too.
Cool, dude.
Yeah. Let's go to little Max action. Not only did they redesign their logo from blue to black, but production of House of Dragon Season 3 has officially begun. Max has been on an absolute tear as of late with House of Dragons. The Last of Us Season 2, which is coming out next week. And then we also have the season finale of Season 3, White Lotus, which has been, I'll say, they're really building it up this year. Mm-hmm. The first, I think, and I didn't watch the first 2 seasons, so this is the only White Lotus I know, but they're building it all up for this grand finale.
Do you think, let's speculate a little bit.
We can speculate.
And we don't need to spend too much time on this because we talked about it in the past, but do you think, I feel like getting people to care about the characters of The Last of Us is important.
Absolutely.
So I don't think they're going to just go, and I could be wrong. They could just say, fucking throw it to the wind and go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Or Orky.
Put it in fire. Put it in fire. Put it in fire because it's a hot spoiler.
Joel dies. Okay.
And season 2.
The second game.
Second game. Right.
He dies.
I won't say season 2, but the second game, the big thing is
he dies.
In like a really rough way.
In a really rough way. But see, that was so central. And a lot of people bitch about that, but that was so central to that story about the idea of seeking revenge for revenge's sake when you're in this new world and how to exist. And people couldn't look past the death because he was such a beloved character to understand that was important for the character development around him. Mm-hmm. Like that was so central to the story. People that watch TV and people that don't know this story will not be as forgiving.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny because I just got Lady Jams to start it. And so I watched the first episode with her and she was just like...
Did it fuck her up? Because it fucked me up.
Well, she was just like, first episode? And I'm like covering tears. Like, are you crying? Like, yes, it's an emotional moment.
Stop it.
Wow, we just spent 40 minutes falling in love with this girl.
Is it like when his daughter dies? And
yeah.
Dude, that fucked me up so bad.
I stayed because I wanted her to watch that scene in particular. Yeah. And they nailed that the first season's incredible, mind you. Yeah. And so she's on episode 3 and I'm like, you're going to love this episode because I think it is one of the best love stories in television. Oh, maybe ever.
Can we pull that up? Because it is literally one of the most beautiful, organic love stories. Gay love story.
Arguably the gayest.
And I will tell you right now, I did not expect to bawl through that.
Oh, I was was broken.
But that's how you do it.
That's how you do it.
That's how you do it, dude. It was
so good.
So good.
It was so good.
It was so good, dude. And people bitching about it. I'm like,
Nick Offerman.
Oh, God.
Just a world-class actor.
Oh, dude. Like the way that they nailed that. Oh, yeah.
Perfect casting.
The way that they nailed that episode was so unexpected. And I tell everyone, I'm like, if you have like that friend, because like, let's be real. Can we be real?
We're being real here.
Let's be real.
Let's get real.
Okay. Even though that I support gay people,
absolutely,
and the LGBTQ plus
100%,
community, 100%, go live your life the way you see
exactly.
fit. Doesn't mean I like to sit and watch gay stuff. Sure. You know what I mean? It's not like, and I think a lot of people get fucked up with that. Like young men, they're like, I can't support anything that's gay. And I'm like, okay, hold on, chill out. It's not like I sit there and like watch dudes make out. And I'm like, yeah,
put some tongue in there.
Yeah.
No.
Even though I support, doesn't mean I want to see that. But I've told everyone, if you have like a friend or a family member that's like a fucking bigot, get them to watch The Last of Us season 1, because the way that they nail that story so perfectly.
And they brought in the show, usually like the show only covers the surface of a character, right?
Yeah.
That added so much depth to a character that was in the game for maybe
fucking
a chapter.
Yeah, it was like a throwaway character, dude.
But they fleshed him out so much that he became, honestly, his own original character in the best way possible. Yeah. Episode 3 might have been the best episode of the season.
Close.
And I mean, for the third episode to be that good and to not even be a part of the main story. Is incredible.
Yeah.
So I am very excited for season 2. I think, and I've said it once, I'll say it again, I think it should be The Last of Us 1.5.
Me too. I'm with you.
Give Bella some time to age, to grow, you know, and then rather than, like, I think with television, it's okay to make it a linear story,
right?
Rather than do the flashbacks and stuff from like the second game, right? So just let it flesh out. Let's see kind of the disconnect between Ellie and Joel as they kind of grow apart.
Yeah.
And Ellie
and her realizing that he just offed all those people and has been lying to her.
Right. And then let's see like how Tommy and Joel kind of like tighten up as brothers again in this new town. Like, I want to see how that gets set, and then give us a finale season 3.
Well, and that's the thing. They keep on saying like, nah, we're doing the second game. And I'm like, but we don't make movies or shows.
No.
So maybe we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. But I'm like, I'm with you. Give me 1.5. Build the reason why we care about these people. Then do it. And then
give us a grand finale 3-season story.
Yeah.
And it's perfect. All right. You want to go?
You go.
Okay.
Yeah. This is big news, actually.
Okay. I got a little animation news because after the day blew up, grossed over $10.3 million. It made over $700,000 for its third weekend, which is good for a movie that literally had no budget.
Yeah.
Like no.
What was the budget for that movie?
$15 million.
Oh, okay. So they're getting close.
They're getting really close. And again, this is from zero marketing.
Right.
Whatsoever. Well, it was announced that Ketchup Entertainment, the people that brought you The Day the Earth Blew Up, have bought the rights to Wile E. Coyote vs. Acme and is set to release the film in theaters in 2026. So to the guy who was wearing the Wile E. Coyote mascot suit outside of Warner Brothers saying, "Release me," you did it. You did it. It was him.
Was specifically you.
It really was. And so for those that don't know, the stars of the movie are Will Forte and John Cena. And it follows like you guessed it, Wile E. Coyote suing Acme for all the harm it's caused him over the years. It's a genius idea.
That's funny.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
And from what I've heard, it's a great movie. It's a fun movie. Warner Brothers not only tried to lie and say that they watched it and it was awful. They never watched it. And then to say that they deleted it all, they didn't. And
well, you see some of these properties that they took as losses, they're starting to leak out a little bit of information. And I wonder if Batgirl, here's my thing. I think this will be great.
I do too.
I think Batgirl will be a disaster.
Probably be a flop.
Like if they release Batgirl, people would watch and be like, oh, so this is why, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is why this had to go, kind of a deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which my thing though, and I'm going to see this movie in theaters.
Right.
I have been a champion for Looney Tunes for this year. I've made this my mission to make this movie break even at least.
Right.
I think The Day the Earth Blew Up was incredible. I gave it a 9.3. I think it's going to be the best animated movie you see all year. That's just my opinion. I think it was so fun. It gives you more depth to a character that you never thought you needed depth with Daffy Duck. The animation style is gorgeous, but if people don't go and support this movie after bitching about it, and I don't like cussing on these pods, but if people don't support this movie after bitching about it for years, you are all the problem.
You are the problem.
If you're one of those people that said, release the film, and then don't go and see it, you suck.
Yeah.
You're the worst.
You are the worst.
You are the worst.
Yeah. All right, I got something for you.
Okay.
Lilo and Stitch.
It looks good.
It looks good. Let's be real. It looks pretty good.
I'm going to give Disney a compliment here. And I don't typically do that. It's the best looking live action movie they've ever had.
Yeah. I think at least from the trailer, it looks like something I could take my girls to and they would like enjoy it.
And I think that's exactly what it's for. It's for all these live action movies, which we have to remember are just to get the next generation of kids into the Disney world.
Yeah.
These old fairy tales. They're not for you 55-year-old guy complaining that it's not your same Snow White.
However, my Little Mermaid.
With that being said, I did hear Snow White was Major Buns and Gal Gadot's worst performance as an actress ever.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, you are justified in it being a bad movie. So
yeah,
there you go.
Snow White, big flop. And
huge flop.
And again, which goes back to the question that we had last week was, I think a lot of this has to do with just over negative coverage based on ideological reasons. And even though like the hateful section of the internet is loud but small, but they're very loud, still the coverage that you get is an unwanted negative connotation to your project before it even starts. So like that in and of itself is a problem. So I think that they're going to tighten up the whole what you say on public social media platforms.
I wouldn't be surprised. Well, speaking of, I didn't even have this, but I was why not talk about it? John Boyega out again, talking Star Wars.
Yeah.
Not great. Not great in the sense of like, it feels like an attack in a sense on Disney and on the fans a bit. Because he talks about, and I'm paraphrasing here, that the black characters never typically get to be the lead or the star. That they're always like the best friend, you know?
Right.
Which I understand his point, but also Finn was such a great character, underutilized.
Right.
A lot of, and this is from at least me as a, I'm a casual Star Wars fan. I wanted Finn to be the lead.
Yeah.
I think we all wanted Finn to be a Jedi.
Right.
And the thought of a clone trooper coming back to defeat an empire was an awesome narrative.
It would have been really cool.
And like, I'm cool with Rey being a Jedi. Right. That's totally fine. And I think she's a badass Jedi at that. But like, you set it up to where Finn was going to be, at least from what it looked like in the first one of the new trilogy, Finn was going to be a Jedi and he was going to lead a rebellion with Rey and they were going to be the two Jedis taking on the Empire. And then you said, no, you're going to do a casino heist. That doesn't matter. Oh, and even though you were like, at least from the first movie, the clear, like, I guess you could say interest with Rey. Nope. Now you're just kind of courting or with another girl that we're not going to keep either. They fumbled Finn so bad.
They did.
But John Boyega has to understand, so many of us love Finn and wanted Finn to be the guy.
Right.
And it wasn't our fault, the fans' fault, that Finn was underutilized.
Maybe you feel that way. I feel his character, and that is because of bad planning. They planned what they were doing incorrectly.
Yes.
And because of that, it created some problems with his character.
And you could have totally redeemed it if you killed him off in the second movie.
If you killed him in the second movie.
If you let him noble sacrifice.
Yes, the noble sacrifice would have made him.
It would have added so much depth to that movie.
And I agree. They also originally wanted to insinuate that maybe he was force sensitive as well. They try to shove that into the last movie of the sequel trilogy. Probably not the smartest thing to do because you need some development for that. But what I would say is, and I'm all for you feeling that way. Get it? Understood. But if you just don't say a lot of shit, you might have a chance to come back and do some cool shit.
Agreed.
And then give the character, because I guarantee you, I think whatever they do, if they do more movies in that,
because Rey's coming back,
if she comes back and they actually get that movie done, they're gonna make sure it's good. They're gonna make sure they have a plan. Mm-hmm. They're gonna make sure that it's dope.
Yeah, they can't afford Rey's movie flopping.
They can't flop it. Like, they're gonna have to do it right. And he would be technically a part of that if he just chill out and you'll get another shot to redeem this character. Just fucking chill. You know what I mean?
Well, and it would be cool. And like, look, I'm bummed that he didn't get the whole Star Wars lead the Resistance as a Jedi former stormtrooper. But if you made him, like, in a sense, the next Han Solo, him and Chewie, because I think they leave at the end of the movie together. It's Finn and Chewie together. Like,
was it Finn and Chewie?
I think so.
I can't remember.
I think so. But that would be an awesome. I would watch a Finn Smuggler movie or a little like series, like a Finn series. I think John Boyega is an incredible actor.
He is. He's just a good actor.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is a shame that he keeps bashing Star Wars.
Yeah.
I want him back. I want him back. Give me back my Finn.
And also the leak of the whole leak, because the whole third movie was leaked.
Right.
And that was because he was being lazy with the script and someone found it and sold it. So it's like, all right, dude, chill out.
I feel like he felt so underappreciated by Disney and Star Wars that he kind of, because even at, like, I think it was like a year or a couple of months after he was in England, and the reports of him bashing Star Wars because of how crazy the fan base can be, which is totally fair.
Which is fair.
Totally fair. They're probably the worst fan base outside of sports.
As a major Star Wars fan, they are by far the worst. And they're little babies.
Yeah.
Speaking of Finns, let's go to this. It's not Iron Man, it's Iron Fist.
Finn Jones.
Finn Jones. He wants to prove critics wrong. Get a second chance at the character.
He sees Daredevil getting a second chance. You know who I would love to see back, though?
What?
Is Luke Cage or Jessica Jones.
Oh, both.
They were awesome.
Iron Fist was
it was, and I feel
I think it was miscasting too.
Well, and I feel bad for him because, like, you want the Defenders thing was supposed to be this big event for Netflix and Marvel, and Finn Jones is a goober, but you were thinking, hey, maybe at least in Defenders he'll have a chance to really showcase what he's about. And they were just like, hey, just kind of lame guy.
Yeah, it's like
it's just not hitting, man. And
they kind of dropped the ball.
You know what would be, what would be cool though, is if in Shang-Chi 2 he makes like a cameo.
Oh yeah. Or like that whole squad. Like, that would be tight.
Yeah,
that would be cool. But
his own season again? No.
Or maybe just recast the character. You want to do Zelda?
Yeah, let's talk a little Zelda and we'll get into Nintendo here with this, because Nintendo is like the star of nerd news. Well, then hang on, since it is a big one, really quick, Chainsaw Man, the movie is going to release October 29th. That movie's going to be sick. I am sad they changed the animation style. I think it'll still be great, but
I haven't even seen the trailer. They changed the animation style?
They changed it to a more colorful, bombastic, rather than like
the muted kind of...
The muted movie cinematography style for season 1 I thought was incredible, and people just can't understand art. That's fine. But season 2 is going to be a more anime, bombastic, still MAPPA, but it's going to be sick. So make sure you watch that October 29th. Legend of Zelda, live action movie, has a release date. That's going to be March 26, 2027.
That means it's going to go into production soon.
Yeah. So the director of the film, Wes Ball, known for Maze Runner and Planet of the Apes, claims he wants it to be, quote, a live-action Miyazaki film. 2 things. 1, they could have just made it a Miyazaki film, and it probably would have been awesome.
Right.
2, I want to be optimistic. Zelda is such a big property. It's so good.
And I love Zelda lore.
And like Planet of the Apes, great films.
Great film.
Maze Runner.
I think he's going to do good. He's going to do good.
I don't know who I would cast for Link and Zelda, but I do think Gary Oldman would make an awesome Ganondorf.
I'm going to tell you right now who they need to. His name it rhymes with Schmalishmay. Give me
curly-haired Link.
Chalamet May. Okay, give me Timothy Chalamet as Link. Heartstop. Give me Timothy Chalamet as Link, dog. He's the one.
All right, I'll meet you in the middle.
What?
Chris Pratt.
No, I think Chris Pratt would be a great Ganondorf. He doesn't really play like villains. He should be a villain.
I could see him being one of like, you know who I could see him as one of like the Gurdus or Gordos.
Yeah.
I could see him being one of the voices for the big guys. That'd be great for him.
You should put Timothy Chalamet as one of those actors he is an early sign of like the next Daniel Day-Lewis. He is that guy that can find the exact right tone and delivery for whatever he's doing. He has a wide range. Link does not talk. So you need someone that's going to be able to shape Link's personality. That would be something that people want to show up to. Mm-hmm. And I think Timothy Chalamet is the guy. I think he's definitely the dude.
Who do you make Zelda?
Anya Taylor-Joy. But she was already Princess Peach. So
that's true. She just takes over the Nintendo world.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, you want good actors and actresses to do this, but all
right, Danny DeVito.
Done. I'd watch it.
Danny DeVito as Ganondorf would be sick.
He'd be good. What's his name?
I'm Ganondorf.
Yeah. What's his name? Dingle, the guy that's in the green outfit.
That actually would be a great Danny DeVito.
Yeah, that would be a good
I'm
Danny
Dingle.
DeVito.
What about it? That would be good. But yeah, that's going to be coming out 2027.
That means they're going to start production like soon. Like they're gonna, probably June is when I'll start shooting.
They're going to start teasing the cast soon for sure. But let's get into the main Nintendo stuff, Switch 2.
And we don't need to spend a lot of time on this because we kind of speculated about this in the last episode of the Do-Over.
Which available now.
Go and check it out. And go subscribe.
Oh, wait.
Subscribe.
Here.
Okay.
In glitter.
So you'll know all the breakdown because we're filming this on Tuesday.
Correct.
Okay. So you'll know the breakdown coming up already because it's going to be out there. But right now we're speculating. Okay. We do know that the Nintendo Direct starts at 6 a.m. Pacific.
Correct.
It's an hour long.
Mm-hmm.
So there has been a leak suggesting that the pre-orders for the Nintendo Switch 2 start afterwards.
Right after.
Which is going to make chaos ensue.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will be up and ready because I'm probably going to pre-order one.
If they let me afterpay it, then we have a chance.
Yeah. If they let me Klarna that shit.
$20 for the next year.
What's up with that Klarna?
I'm financing a Switch.
So, look, here's the deal. I'm all for getting that pre-ordered, but they said they overproduced this console to make sure that there's no piracy. What really has happened here, and there's been a lot of speculation, but one of the things that's big, when they did the release of hey, here's a Switch 2, it exists.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 2-minute thing, right? When they did that, Nintendo stock dropped because it was just like, oh, look, it's more of the same. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What gets people excited about a video game console? It rhymes with BAMES, Elliot.
Survey says games.
Yes. Games. You know how you're going to create an insane amount of excitement for your new console? Give me the games that will either run better with higher fidelity and or with your backwards compat, or what are the new games coming out that's going to get us pumped?
That's what we need. And like, look, I told you last week, I was stoked for Metroid Prime 4. That would make an excellent launch title.
I think the real reason why they've been waiting so long is to finish games to have launch titles. I think they've been heavy, like kind of tight-fisted with this.
They've been super tight-fisted with games. I mean, the only game we know that's confirmed is Mario Kart.
That's it.
That's all we know.
And we're speculating that that's a new Mario Kart and that it isn't.
Oh my God. Mario Kart 8 Double Deluxe.
Yeah, Double Deluxe.
Double Deluxe with cheese.
Yeah. Switch 2 version. So here's to say, if the pre-orders start, I'm going to order one for sure. but I don't need to get like 7 of these things like how crazy people do. I need one. I will try. I will give you the update on whether or not the pre-order is just going to crash every single site, because it most likely will.
Maybe.
I would be very surprised if Nintendo was like, look, you give us your email. We will give you, like how kind of the Valve Steam Deck did it. You give us your email. You will have 2 days to purchase it. Here's all the links of the partners that we have association with.
If not
Best Buy, Walmart, Target, you put it in, you get your chance to buy it, and they do it in a secure manner. That would be awesome.
That would be cool.
That would be awesome if they did something like that.
What I think they need, and like Prime 4, I think would make an excellent launch title because it's kind of a first person shooter. It's an adventure, a puzzle game. It's everything. And I thought the trilogy was great. 3 kind of fell off, but if you gave us Odyssey 2, what Breath of the Wild and Odyssey being your first 2 major launches is what made the Switch start off so strong.
Well, I think Zelda being a launch title of the first Switch was,
but then like 2 months later, you had Odyssey, which is
great,
is fantastic.
It's great.
It's as good as the Galaxies. It's as good as 64.
But Zelda being and Breath of the Wild being one of the best games ever made, definitely helped. So they need a heavy hitter like that. I think a Smash Brothers sells a console.
Absolutely.
I think a Mario Kart sells a console.
Absolutely.
But what else are we going to be looking at? That's the question. So we'll have to kind of revisit this coming up on Friday when we're live on Twitch, twitch.tv/The Do-Over Podcast, when we're recording the next episode of the Do-Over Podcast, which we will talk about. We're going to take a little break. We're going to come back and do some sports news, yeah?
There's a lot of sports stew.
Coming up next. Big shout out to Groggs Traditional Irish Pub at the northeast corner of Willow and Knees. Not only do they house the Do-Over Podcast for taps and takes, but they invited us to go blow it up on St. Patrick's Day live on scene. Now that that's done, it's easing us into summer and it gets hella hot here in the Central Valley. Groggs prides themselves on being the coldest drinking establishment in the Central Valley. Literally go down there, get a nice cold pickleback, get a nice cold Guinness, throw it back and leech off that free AC, son. Support Groggs because they support the Do-Over Podcast. Big shout out to Groggs Traditional Irish Pub.
Big shout out to Groggs.
They house us for taps and takes every single Friday at 8 a.m. You want that nerd news, you want that sports news, you know where to go. Right here for taps and takes. And then, big shout out to Groggs. Ooh, it's so chilly in here, Elliott.
It is. You know why?
It's so chilly.
You know why?
Why?
It's because it's the coldest, not just the coolest, but also the coldest bar in Fresno.
Damn straight. Not only the coolest, but the coldest. Okay. So if it's hot and you need to leech off that free AC, you know where to go.
You know where to go.
Groggs. Now, Elliott.
Yes.
You were saying off air that we should be calling Eddie Phoenix Eddie.
I agree. Because
rising from the ashes.
Because he is rising. He is rising above to become bigger, faster, stronger, more manfluencer than ever before.
If you look at Fast Eddie's picture, it's this black and white picture of him wearing a chain. And he's like this. Like that. Like this, Elliott. Yeah.
No, he's been doing protein style recipes. That's how you know you're going down. You're going down the rabbit hole. I've been there.
Didn't you put like a challenge thing up?
Yeah, it was a 30-day challenge. So shout out Fast Eddie and challenges.
Yeah.
I did say, so I'm going to be in San Jose for the next 2 days. I'm going to check out the Sharks. But when I get back, I think I'm going to start carnivore.
Are we going to do carnivore?
Carnivore?
Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, I think, well, funny enough, I think I'm going to start it on the 4th.
Okay.
So April 4th through May 4th. All right.
I'll do it with you.
Okay. I think I'm going to like it.
I don't think you will. I think you're going to...
I'll have a problem with sweets because I have a horrible sweet tooth.
Your body will fiend carbohydrates. Like you will wake up and be like, I need to eat rice. Like,
see, I've had so much chicken and rice in my time. I'm so over rice. I just had 4 days worth of turmeric chicken and rice. I hate it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's what I do. I'll make like a batch of food for good for 5 days and I'll eat it for 5 days straight. That doesn't bother me.
Elliott, I'm confused. How do you have 2 days off in a row? Don't you have like 17 jobs right now?
I know. Thankfully, I got, second job typically is a weekend stuff. Like I work weekends with that. Right. But other job, I put in weeks in advance to get these 2 days off. So yeah. I just have to plan everything like a month and a half in advance now. It's crazy.
So what's up now? Speaking of going to San Jose to check out some sports, what's up with the sports world, Elliott?
A lot of stuff.
This is where you shine.
A lot of stuff going on. March Madness has been I won't say it's been a bad tournament, but it has been just a favorite.
Not my March Madness.
It's been very favorite heavy. 4 1 seeds are in the Final Four this year. Duke, who continues to dominate as they dismantled Alabama.
Right.
Florida has been a flurry on offense. Auburn is athletic and just could not be stopped against Michigan State. And then Houston has been, a lot of people going into the tournament had Houston winning it. They were probably the second favorite behind Duke. But not a lot of people have talked about Houston, but Houston is still dominant as always. So the Final Four goes as this. Houston will take on Duke. Auburn will take on Florida, and then we will have our championship game next week.
So both semifinal games are this week?
They're this weekend, and then we will have the championship game, I believe, on Monday. Yeah. So Taps and Takes on Tuesday. We'll cover it next week.
Who do you think is going to take it?
Probably Duke.
Yeah.
Duke has probably the 3 best players in college basketball. Cooper Flagg being the overall #1 college basketball player and probably the #1 pick in the NBA draft.
No way.
This year. Yeah. So Duke's just built different this year, but it's been a good tournament. I just wish there was some lower seeds that had made it a little farther.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine if all 4 1 seeds get to the Final Four. It would have been nice to see one of like a 10 seed. Like if Arkansas had pulled the win the other night.
And they were up.
They were up like 16.
Elliott.
They were up 16.
Last Friday, Elliott's like, oh man. Stop watching it, dude.
I was on it. Me and my brother were like texting each other, watching like, how is this happening? They missed free throws, but they're just kids, so it's okay.
So you're gonna let it go?
There's only a few there's a few things that drive me crazy as like a sports fan. Yeah. A false start on a 3rd down drives me up a wall. A pass interference on a deep ball drives me up a wall. Missed free throws for pros,
unacceptable.
Inexcusable.
Yeah.
College kids, they're kids. I give them a pass. I'm not going to yell at kids. Plus Arkansas still may have hypothetically won me money. So that's not important.
Okay, I will tell you my sports irks. There's one main one.
Okay.
When very, 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 very well paid receivers drop balls that are wide open.
Ooh.
I'm like,
how's wide open? Like contested or wide open?
Like no pressure in their hands and they drop it. I'm like, bro, you're getting paid $20 million. Yeah. If me or you,
those are bad. Those are bad.
If me or you, and like, look, human error, people are people. I get it.
Yeah.
But when you're being paid that much money, if you or I were getting paid $20 million, we would literally cut off our fucking hand and throw it at that ball and be like, I'm catching that son of a bitch.
I'm doing everything I can to catch that ball.
I need my paycheck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think this is going to sound shitty of me because like I don't operate in this field. So keep that in mind.
Sure.
And I'm not trying to be dismissive of the work that goes into being a professional athlete. I'm not. The guarantee on contracts, which I understand is to protect people from injury, the guarantee on sports contracts makes people complacent. It's much like tenure in the teaching field. All you need to do is teach somewhere for 3 to 5 years. You're on tenure. They can't fucking fire you. You can just call it in for the rest of your career if you want to. When you're guaranteeing, it's like, say these contracts are like $80 million.
It's because you get comfortable. You get
comfortable. I know I'm going to get $60 million.
Yeah. It's funny because a lot of players they'll be in that contract year where they're working towards a contract. So they ball out the year before they're about to get paid. So they get these huge deals. And then the first year they get the money, you either get a very like consistent, like, oh, see, he was worth it.
Yeah.
Or you get almost an immediate kind of drop off and you're like, okay, it's just a low year, but we got him for 4 more years and hey, he's still so-and-so, right? So he's going to be great. And then you have like, oh, we may have overpaid for this guy.
Yeah.
And we're going to get to the NFL and overpaying potentially here in a second. I've got 2 baseball stories, an NBA story, and then we'll get to NFL. And I'm going to be quick on baseball because although the MLB has started and it's underway. It couldn't have gotten any worse for the Atlanta Braves because their outfielder, Jurickson Profar, had just received a major suspension as he will be suspended for 80 games due to testing positive on PEDs. He tested positive, and apologies if I get this wrong, for gonadotropin, which is...
What the fuck is that, dude?
It's got to be some sort of steroid.
It's some super steroid, Elliot.
Right?
I'm totally not okay with that. Who's got the gonadotropin?
The gonadotropin. Yeah.
Does anyone have the gonadotropin? So
right.
we can get some of them.
So he's going to be out for the next 80 games. The Braves have not started this season off well, and so when it rains, it pours in Atlanta.
Buddy, I say we just openly take some roids. Why don't we do some steroids, Elliot? Can we get steroids, and should we do them on the Do Over podcast?
I agree. I mean,
we got confirmation of maybe steroids.
Got thumbs up from the back, from back of the house.
Yeah, steroids
from back of the house.
Let's do some steroids.
Right on. I'm not. All right.
I do like that it only took like 10 years, roughly, of steroids going from never do steroids to do some steroids. Yeah, it's all right. Just do a little.
Just do them responsibly.
Just do a little bit of steroids.
Like everything, do it responsibly.
Like if you're juicing out all the time like a smack addict, like that's gonna be a problem. But if you're once a month, just a little bit of a cycle,
you do a little monthly cycle with the new diet, man, you're gonna look great.
Elliot, I can be one of those X-Fit models within like 6 months.
You could.
I'd be just looking shredded and be like,
you'd be a Shreddy Thompson,
and then I'll just be like,
all right.
Dude, don't do this. I see your note right here. Don't do this.
I'm going to do it.
Okay.
But I'm going to be really fast about it, and I'm going to be very normal and chill about it. And we're not going to do what we always do with this topic, all right? We're not going to do this.
I won't. I tell you what, before you even do it, out of respect for you, about the good times that you're going to have in San Jose, I'm not going to bust your balls over this.
Thank you.
Just go ahead and say your piece.
I'm just going to cover what was covered all yesterday with the formerly known Oakland Athletics, and now just the Athletics because they're too afraid to even put Sacramento on any of their stuff.
So they're in SAC right now?
They are in SAC, and we're going to get to all of it. So we're going to start with the A's home opener was last night, Tuesday night. And to the surprise of absolutely nobody, it was a total disaster.
Yeah.
Their press conference outside of Sutter Health Park, which is a minor league park, by the way, was held in a, quote, tough shed. Drew, and I know what you're thinking. You're like, Ellie, you're just trying to bust John Fisher's chops, right? Allow me to show you the press conference. If you can see it, Ort's going to link the photo. It was literally a tough shed. Sacramento summers get over 100 degrees, so that's going to be an awesome place to do your press conferences.
Yeah, I can't wait. That's making everyone uncomfortable. No, maybe they're doing that to psychologically fuck with people so they don't stick around to ask questions. They're like, hey, if they're uncomfortable, they won't ask as much questions.
It's a bold strategy. Broadcasters as well as players have talked about how disappointed they are in already playing in a minor league field because you know what players love is to travel across country to play at, you guessed it, a minor league field.
Yeah. Hey, our minor league field is excellent.
That would be...
Chansey Park is beautiful.
If the A's went to Fresno, they'd probably be a lot happier. Because, you know, Johnny B and everybody over at the Fresno...
Shout out Grizzlies.
And the Grizzlies...
Shout out Derek Frank. Shout out Johnny B.
Have literally won awards for their field.
Oh, it's gorgeous, dude.
It's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
And you know what? Shout out Fresno Grizzlies. We love you guys. The radio broadcast for the A's game lost connection for more than half of the game. So you couldn't even listen to the game.
Okay.
And let's see. I had some more stuff. It was a sellout crowd. Congratulations. 13,000 people, which for a minor league. Okay.
All right.
In 2023, before the A's sold or abandoned Oakland, essentially, because that's what John Fisher did, 27,000 sellout for the home opener.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. When the A's, after it was announced that they were leaving Oakland, 14,000 home opener. Within the fifth inning, the game was 10-3 Cubs over Cubs over
Sacramento.
The A's. They don't even want you to say Sacramento.
Just the A's.
They're just the Athletics.
But see, is this a transition? They're in Sac now, but they're going to Vegas.
John Fisher still owes $350 million.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a lot of moolah.
Yeah. Let's see. After the fifth inning, and they were down 10-3, more than half of the crowd left, and the remaining fans started to sing "Sell the Team" chants. The A's have banned any signs, any posters, or any banners. The A's have banned any any sounds like drums, which the A's fans are known for having.
Right, yeah.
Fun stat. The A's lost 18-3, mind you.
That's pretty bad.
The 18 runs allowed last night by the A's are the most by any team in a home opener in 100 years. The St. Louis Browns allowed 21 runs to the Indians in 1925.
Oh, man.
It was a masterclass disaster. And you know what the MLB is going to do?
What?
Absolutely nothing about it.
Yep.
Because you know what they could have done?
What?
And I would have been totally 150% fine with this. John Fisher could have sold the A's for $1 billion. Somebody would have bought it, and the A's stay in Oakland, while Manfred gets, and John Fisher gets, what they've always wanted, an expansion team in Las Vegas. Because Las Vegas, whether we like it or not, is becoming a sports town. Yeah. And I'm all for Las Vegas getting its own expansion.
Makes sense. That makes sense.
So much sense. Yeah. It's crazy. Rather than digging up a team that's been rooted in Oakland for 57 years, that has a loyal fan base, and you say, I'd rather just alienate them. But that's all I'm going to say about the Athletics.
I'll be a man of my word, and I'm not going to bust your balls about it. We're just going to move on.
We're just going to move on. Because we're done. We're done with baseball.
Yeah.
We're done with baseball. The Yankees have torpedo bats, and they're hitting a bunch of home runs also.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's kind of...
So wait. They're legal, right?
Yeah, they are.
But they're like cracking it,
they're
dude.
smashing home runs.
Yeah. No.
They're destroying home runs.
I saw that.
Yeah. I also want to quickly... This is like where sports and video games meet. Backyard baseball's back.
Oh, is it?
And it's on mobile.
Already?
Yeah, it's like the original game, but mobile on your phone. I hear it's awesome.
Yeah.
I hear it's great.
Is it a free download?
I think it's $5, but $5 for a video game? Yeah, for sure. Okay. Let's go into quickly some NBA stuff. The New Orleans Pelicans, who are another pathetic franchise, are shutting down Zion Williamson and CJ McCollum for the rest of the season.
Why?
They're terrible. They've been eliminated from playoffs.
Zion's bad? I thought Zion was good.
Zion
Is he not a good team player?
Zion in college at Duke was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All explosive, an awesome dunker, dominant force. And when he's healthy, he is good. He's never healthy. He's always out of shape. He's fat. Mm-hmm. And when you're getting paid millions of dollars... And I get it. New Orleans, you got that gumbo, that jambalaya. You got them po' boys. You got them po' boys. Now, he is a po' boy.
I think Crow, I think it's something in Wolf. It's like this Michelin-rated sandwich shop in New Orleans where the guy was like, look, I wanted to create a place where I could just serve a bunch of Duke's mayo to everyone.
Yeah. Well,
and apparently it's like one of the best sandwich shops in the world.
I believe
they're in New Orleans.
No surprise. Down in New Orleans, they got that po' boy, baby. Yeah. So they're in like a weird predicament of just sucking and also trying to figure out what their future is. Mm-hmm. You have the talent in Zion Williamson, but until he dedicates to losing weight, you just can't really trust him.
I don't know how you can even, you can ball and be a little bit out of shape, I suppose, but like to keep up, you
just have to not be overweight.
Well, I look at NBA players much like how I look at soccer players or football players, is that like the NFL is explosive, right? You have to have endurance, and depending on your role, you have to have endurance, but in short bursts, right? Mm-hmm. You have to be
you get a break right after every play usually.
When you look at baseball, you only have to really exert speed, in bursts. Soccer players constantly have to be running. NBA players constantly have to be moving, dude.
Well, it's almost constant sprints. It's lateral movement. It's a lot. And so you'd think, and granted, he's suffered with injuries, but again, he suffered with injuries because of his weight.
Right.
So if you lose the weight and you're already such a massive human being, if you lose the weight and it's all muscle, you're going to be more unstoppable.
Look, this is going to sound kind of fucked up to pussies on the internet, but I'm going to say it anyways. There should be contracts to be like, you can't be fat. Like, we're paying you $80 million to do this job. You can't be out of shape. You need to be in shape or you're going to fuck off, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's part of the gig, dude.
And it'd be one thing if he was like Luka, right? Where, he drinks and he smokes in the off season. Well, he's also playing every game and he's averaging basically 30 plus points a game.
Right.
And he took a team to the finals when they had no business being in the finals because he's that good. Like, that's the one exception. If you are that good that you can get by it, but you're always unhealthy, you're never available. I mean, what's a team supposed to do with you?
Right. Exactly.
And then we'll go to a couple of NFL stories. This happened last week, but we were running out of time. The New York Football Giants, they got some new quarterbacks. Now, first, the internet was ecstatic because we got Jameis Winston to a 2-year deal for about $8 million. Now, if you don't know Jameis Winston, he is easily the silliest man in football.
Yeah.
He's all about eating them dubs. You know, he has a record for 30 touchdown passes and 30 interceptions in a season. He is a gunslinger by all means. He's a great locker room guy. Everybody loves playing with him. He can just, turn the ball over a lot. Yeah. But he's all fun regardless.
At least he's throwing the fucking ball.
Well, he's not afraid to rip it.
Right.
He's not afraid to rip it. Yeah. And that's what we love about him. But then shortly after, the New York Giants signed Russell Wilson. So Russell Wilson, gone from the Steelers. Justin Fields, gone from the Steelers. We covered that already. So it seems it's so funny because literally on one of the TVs next to us, we're about to cover this guy.
Yeah.
So Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, God.
The enigma.
Okay.
And look, hang on. Before you go.
I just want to say what I have to say up front.
And you have your opinions on him. Everybody's got their opinions on him. I'm conflicted because Aaron Rodgers, the football player, I think is an all-time Hall of Fame talent. Aaron Rodgers, the guy, kind of a weirdo.
Kind of. He's an insufferable shithead. Like, and before everyone's like, blah, 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 it's not because of what he believes. It's how he kind of acts like he is the definitive word on so many topics that he's just an aggravating person. And then you listen to people like, okay, like we were talking about off air. Okay. If you're in his inner circle, you're in. That's great. If you're not, he's a complete prick. And here's the problem. You work on a fucking team. You're past your prime. You still got it when it counts at times, but you're past your fucking prime and you need everyone working around you to make you worth something. So shut the fuck up, get a different attitude going, be grateful that you're even still playing or being considered, and do your fucking job.
So it's so funny because NFL quarterbacks, especially guys that have been around for as long as like Aaron Rodgers has been, right? And Tom Brady was very much like this too. Tom Brady, if you weren't on your grind, if you weren't doing what you needed to be doing, he would cut you off and then you were done.
Right.
The difference with Tom Brady is that he won Super Bowls.
Right.
And Aaron Rodgers, he didn't, and I think trying to compare quarterbacks to Tom Brady, I just don't think is fair at this point.
No.
Dude.
He's probably the greatest of all time.
No, he is. He is the GOAT until Patrick Mahomes can maybe, but I don't even know if he will.
I don't even think Patrick Mahomes, I don't know. Is there still
he's still got a chance.
He still has a chance, but they were so dominant for so long.
The Patriots won 3. Then there was a 10-year hiatus, right. And then they won 3 again, and then he left and then won again in Tampa.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
So he did prove some stuff.
Yeah. For sure. Patrick Mahomes got his work cut out for him, but still, he's way ahead of anybody else, But Aaron Rodgers, it's been a couple of stories have been floating around with him. He still hasn't signed with anybody. I think he's waiting for the draft to figure out what teams are going to do to see what's available. He was seen, though, at UCLA. He was seen at UCLA with Steelers' new wide receiver, DK Metcalf. So most people, and what will probably happen is Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers. It makes sense. He probably should have gone there a few years ago rather than the Jets, but he wanted to go to the Jets for some reason. But there are other stories. The Vikings are still kind of in the sphere of maybe we'll go with Aaron Rodgers because we don't know if J.J. McCarthy's ready to take the reins.
Right.
Their rookie quarterback that got hurt last year. And I did hear this theory because Brock Purdy is looking for a big contract. And the 49ers and him haven't agreed to anything yet, but they're leaning, I think, $35 million.
Mm-hmm.
He's
annual?
Yeah.
He's how many years?
Probably like a 5-year contract. Yeah. A lot of these quarterbacks get like a 5-year.
$150 million.
Yeah.
It's $175 million.
With probably a signing bonus of like $70 million guaranteed, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like he wants closer to $50 million, which would be around $250 million. Not the highest, but still.
And he has performed, especially when it counts, but
he has. But the problem with Brock Purdy that a lot of people have is, are you able to carry a team?
Yeah.
Because Kyle Shanahan, he did this with Jimmy Garoppolo, and we all argued, does he deserve the money? Does he not?
No.
Well, he's not.
Jimmy G did not.
Barely even in the league anymore, right? Brock Purdy, I think, is better. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
But they're saying if they don't want to sign Brock Purdy to the money, they'll let him play his last year of his rookie contract out, and then they'll let him go and look for an opportunity somewhere else, or they might trade him and bring in the hometown kid who grew up by Chico State.
But I think that fool's done, though, after this year.
I think the Steelers will sign him for 2 years. He said he wanted to play for at least 2 years, and then he'll be done, as he should.
Yeah.
And I love the idea with the Steelers for 2 storylines. One, best case scenario for him, the Steelers win the Super Bowl with him, and the team that he beat to win his first, he helps them win, and he gets the second, and then they tie Tom Brady's number.
Right.
Or, which is probably more likely, Aaron Rodgers, of all people, Hall of Fame quarterback, is going to be the quarterback that makes Mike Tomlin have his first losing record ever in his career.
Both are fine.
Both are fine. Both are hilarious outcomes.
Right, yeah.
And there you go. There's, and we haven't got a number for it yet, but the Cowboys have offered Micah Parsons the largest non-QB deal in NFL history. If I had to guess, probably $45 million a year.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money for a defensive lineman.
So there you go. Taps and takes. And we are finished with all that nerd news, all that sports news.
Do I look that white in person?
No, you
look tan. No, because you look tan in the last thumbnail. I look aghast.
It's because I have
look at that.
I have a natural oaky red to my complexion.
Look. I look like Nosferatu with the white.
I'm so white.
Oh,
well, we are a couple of just honky white dudes with a podcast.
A dream. Two crazy millennials with a dream.
So thank you for joining us. Go back, watch all of our stuff, subscribe, and we will be back on Wednesday with the next episode of the Do Over Podcast. And if you just watched this right when it came out, probably live on Twitch right now, twitch.tv/The Do Over Podcast, all one word. Go and check it out, and we'll see you coming up Wednesday at 8. Till then, gotta go. Love you. Bye.
Subscribe.